and thanks for joining us, 2K Sports fans, for another exciting presentation of NBA basketball. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg with Doris Burke reporting from the sideline. And now we take a brief check. And now Doris Burke has an update from the sideline.
Kevin, I was able to speak with Eric Spoelstra for a moment. He told me it's a fun challenge trying to slow down a team that's so cagey and opportunistic offensively. He said, of course we've done our scouting, but this is the first time we've seen them firsthand this season. So it'll be interesting to see if we can take them out of their sets and slow them down at that end. Guys, they'll have to be solid defensively.
Very good, Doris. Thanks. Well, guys, you think they'll be able to make that strategy work for them?
You know, they're a very high percentage shooting team, so he's right to focus on playing the tight D. As for whether it'll work, we'll see.
Hey, sometimes you just got to tip your hat. Even tough D can be outdone by good offense.
And a closer look here at the hustle stats for the Heat.
And it's been about their defense. They're playing with a frenetic pace, putting a lot of pressure on the ball handlers and forcing turnovers.
They've gotten their fair share of points off turnovers so far tonight, too.
And the pass to Chalmers.
And it's like raining buckets right now. I wonder if this is the early stages of a blowout.
Well, we got to be careful. Don't want to get ahead of ourselves just yet. But it has been pretty ugly so far, no doubt about that.
Out of bounds, Miami takes possession.
That is not a difficult pass. You think they could keep it in bounds.
Houston with a big group substitution here. Dwight Howard, he's checked in for Hayes. Terrence Jones comes in for Monty Eunice. Trevor Ariza's checked in for Corey Brewer. And it's Thornton in for James Harden.
Great outside shooting fueling this line.
Then the D is getting bombarded. They haven't been able to slow them down the least bit.
Howard with a screen on Dragic. Lawson drives in. And Thornton gets to Ariza. Clock at 4. Outside for Thornton. No good again that time. Dragic with it. He had 13 points in the win against Cleveland.
This is crazy. Every shot they're taking right now is finding the mark.
Literally every shot, partner. They just aren't missing.
Lawson from outside. That's good. Lawson's got 7 points in the game. The first quarter concludes in a double-digit lead on the scoreboard. Miami ahead. They lead by 14. It's trailed by 14. Well, Greg, after a run of 10 playoff trips in 11 years, the Miami Heat missing the postseason last year, they'd end up a game back of the 8th spot.
Yeah, and what's hard for the Heat, Kevin, is that they were in the playoff picture for most of the year, and as the season wore on, they slowly fell out of that top 8.
Taking a look at the Rockets, Beverly and Harden man the backcourt. Monty Eunice out there with Hayes, and it's Ariza in at the small forward.
Yeah, how about the sharp steal and then run out? It looks like they're ready to put the hammer down.
Well, we've been waiting for one of these teams, Greg, to pull away. Maybe that'll be a springboard for them.
Could be. A dunk like that coming off a great defensive play has to build some momentum. You know, guys, for the greater part of last season, it appeared as though the Heat were playoff bound. Even with the players they lost, most figured they would be playing postseason basketball.
Oh, man, how about the last-minute decision there to pull the shot down and get a better one for your teammate?
Harden the pass to Beverly. Good. It's Harden with the assist that time.
And one reason why the Heat did come up short in their playoff aspirations, they were very poor against other teams in the playoffs. They only went 15-31 against teams that had made it into the postseason last year.
Ariza goes in, and Luol Deng gets the whistle that time. That's his first foul.
And really, these are some of the toughest calls an official has to make.
Yeah, but in this case, I think he got it right. I mean, the defender was still moving there and never really had good legal guarding position. He wasn't set.
Houston making a switch here. Dwight Howard, he's checked in for Hayes. Terrence Jones comes in for Monty Eunice. Corey Brewer's checked in for Trevor Ariza. And Ty Lawson subbed in for Patrick Beverly. Harden outside.
Boy, his struggles continue here in the second quarter.
Off with the layup. Here's Red Hot. An amazing finish with a hand right in his face. Red Hot's got 19 points.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They keep getting in the paint and keep scoring points. Keep it going.
Not a lot you can do as a defense when they keep getting the ball in the paint like this.
He kicks it to Brewer. Back to Lawson. A three-pointer off the mark.
And Dwayne Wade, as we know, one of the best in the business at blocking shots from that off-guard position. It's hard to think of a guard who has had as many swats as Dwayne Wade in the past couple decades. One of the best ever.
We've got 1:08 left here in the second. Jones dishes to Lawson. And the call will be against Red Hot. That's his first foul. Marcus, a dominating first half of basketball, and so far hasn't been close. Heat out front, just dominating this one. Back after this from the American Airlines Arena. He's in at the 4 spot. Winslow is out there with Chalmers. And it's Ennis, and it's Whiteside, and at the pivot spot, manning the middle. It's the group on the floor for Miami.
He is raining threes here tonight, and he is going to continue to stay aggressive.
As he should. I mean, when you're having the kind of day he's having from long range, you're doing your team a disservice if you aren't shot hungry.
Passes it to Red Hot. The big dunk at the end of the break.
Great awareness by Mario Chalmers on that feed.
For the Houston Rockets, they won their last contest in that game against Golden State.
They just weren't challenged. I mean, nearly as much as they should have been in that game, at least when they had the ball.
Yeah, it was a mismatch. I mean, the defense from the start was on its heels practically the entire game.
So for the Rockets, Dwight Howard, he's checked in for Capella, and Trevor Ariza subbed in for James Harden.
And I also can't get over how much energy he expends rebounding the basketball. He goes all out on the board every single night.
And the Rockets have lost out on some free agent wars the past few years. They have remained competitive, but you wonder what could have been if they landed or kept some of those big names.
Got that one up quick. 30 points for Red Hot.
He has really punished these defenders today. No matter who's been on him, he's been giving them medicine.
Wide open. Misses off the right iron. And with the Rockets, it's no secret that they take a very analytical approach to team building. Greg, you and I talked about that. And Clark, you wonder if that hurts them in free agency.
Well, when your front office makes no qualms about viewing players as simply just assets, it can be a hard sell to a free agent.
And Beverly gets to Moniunas. Here's Red Hot, and the dunk to finish it off. A beauty. And an important part of every team's game, a look at the hustle stats for Miami.
Their high-energy defensive effort has paid off for them, guys, with more than a few steals over the course of the ball game.
Yeah, and another thing, they've created a lot of turnovers, but they've also been able to convert when they've gotten down in transition.
And that'll increase their rebound advantage. They've definitely been winning that battle on the board.
You know what? No rebounds, no rings, and they've controlled the boards, and that's what's given them control of this game.
That's good.
And chalk up a few more points for them there. This has been a one-sided game in just about every area.
Absolutely. I echo that sentiment. Their offense, their defense, it's all been terrific.
Brewer's shot is off. The Heat shooting has been sensational. 75% for the game. That is good. Red Hot's got 38 points.
And he's starting to show that killer instinct this quarter, looking to extend the lead.
Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, a cold stretch offensively. They desperately need a basket.
Dragic, and wrestling for it there, but no one has possession. We'll have a jump ball. It'll be a jump ball. And it's the Heat with the ball. Houston's gone 1 of 4 in three-point shots here in the third.
He got a little room at the rim and laid it in. Great play.
And it's Miami's ball. They're on a 16-4 run. Got that bucket in no time at all. 41 points for Red Hot.
Add another triple to their second half total.
They came out of the break just dropping bombs and just are not letting up at all.
Juaninas kicks to Beverly. Now the dish to Brewer. 6 on the shot clock. Back to Beverly. Elbow shot is on the way. And it comes off the front of the rim. The 3 quarters of play all in the books. And this one all but over already. Heat out front, delivering the blowout. And thanks again for joining us. Let's see what happens here in the fourth. The Heat have gone 8 of 14 from the floor here in the fourth quarter. And so in the game for the Rockets. Terrence Jones is down low with Howard. Harden and Ariza out on the perimeter. And it's Lawson in at the point guard. Houston's gone 1 of 3 from outside the arc since we've reached the fourth quarter. Harden kicks to Lawson. Some nice passing there by Houston. Harden the pass to Howard. Jones drives in. Back to Howard. 5 on the clock. Pulls up. No good. The Heat go the other way with it. This, of course, their first opportunity to play Houston this season. Yeah, really a rare treat for the fans. The only time they'll get to see this matchup all season.
Inter-conference action here. 2 games in all between these two teams. It'll be fun to watch.
Tipped away. To the paint. Here's Red Hot. Goes up high for the two-handed dunk.
Is it getting dark in here? Because if not, it's time to turn the lights out.
They're out already. I mean, give them a ton of credit for the job they did here today. Really impressive.
For Houston, they've gone 6 of 13, so just above 46% on their field goal attempts here in the quarter. Lawson kicks to Harden. Oh, and a fast break for the Heat. Rips down the breakaway slam.
And he's also a guy, Steve, whose confidence is not very easily shaken. That's an important quality to have. He'll miss a few shots in a row, but they're not going to cause him to doubt himself. Not in the least.
And the call will be against Red Hot. That's his 3rd foul so far. Bonus situation in effect, so we'll head to the free throw line for 2. Well, for James Harden, with his incredible regular season last year, Clark, you knew he was in for a great postseason as well.
And it was a bit of a roller coaster for him in the playoff run. I mean, he could vanish one game, but then explode for 40 in the next.
And Clark, they've been a little too casual with the ball out there.
Yeah, I think so. Too cool. I mean, just not forceful enough, not alert or aggressive enough, and sometimes trying to do too much with the basketball.
Yeah, but you can't force that square peg into the round hole. Oftentimes, you just got to make that first simple pass and get a rhythm from that. The fans are just loving what's going on here tonight. A really good win for the home team.
It sure is. I mean, they kept this crowd in the game, gave them plenty to cheer about, and really used that home court advantage to their advantage.
And Hassan Whiteside of Miami had the breakout year of all breakout years. Clark, he blew up in the right way last season. Averaged a double-double over 48 games.
Yeah, and great to see for Whiteside because he did have some issues prior to the breakout year, and it's nice to see him find his stride and produce with that awesome talent he had.
That one will seal the deal there. They've exploded here at the end.
Boy, I love the serious killer instinct they've shown. Finishing strong.
Off his foot, and it's being called a kickball. Patrick Beverly, he's checked in for James Harden. There's 21 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Here's McDaniels. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. The first one falls. And McDaniels drops them both. 17 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Here's Red Hot. Makes a big high bounce and goes in. Red Hot's got 56 points in the game.
Yep, he's their leading scorer, Kevin, in this game, and has been the dominant figure today. No doubt about it.
McDaniels offline. And so Miami takes this one by a big margin. And the outcome of this one was never in doubt.
Yeah, they were clicking in every way. I mean, all cylinders go. No question about that. And once they pulled away, they didn't let up.
And that about wraps it up. For Clark Kellogg, Greg Anthony, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. Now, our Jordan player of the game, Red Hot.
Quando eu me vi só nesse lugar, eu pensei que preciso sair pra me libertar. Seja com quem for, a minha vida é cantar. Nunca no mesmo lugar, seja sozinho a dois, o resto eu vejo depois. Mas só em pensar que com a sua face, tudo que eu pedisse, só você que me desse. Aí pensando nesse esse.
It has just been announced that you have been named the Conference Player of the Week for the past week. This is the first time you've received this award. Can we expect more of this from you in the future?
Man, I certainly hope so. Feels incredible to be singled out from all the great players in the conference. I'd like to give my thanks to the coaching staff here, my great teammates, and of course all the fans that come out every night and cheer us on through thick and thin, man. Thanks, everyone. It was great.
A look at Atlanta's opening lineup. Teague and Korver in the backcourt. Paul Millsap out there with Kent Bazemore. And it's Splitter in at the 5. And for Miami, Dang and Bosch with the 3 and 4. Dragic is out there with Dwayne Wade. And it's Stoudemire in at the center position.
And what?
Earlier, Doris Burke spoke with head coach Erik Spoelstra. And what'd you find out, Doris?
And Kevin, I asked him what he thought would be a key factor for them coming into this game. He said, well, our length and shot blocking should help. It gives offenses something to think about when they come inside the lane. And oftentimes, that tentativeness can be a game changer. Guys, every team in the league wants that interior presence, and he just explained one big reason why.
Thanks, Doris. And as Doris provided the details, guys, the way they plan to attack defensively will be key early on, won't it?
Absolutely. And if that's the strategy, they've got to be full of energy, full intensity right off the bat.
And that's a real pillar to any successful defense when you talk about intensity. I mean, you can't go half-heartedly or halfway.
For the Hawks, it was the first time they have won their division in 21 years. Hard to believe, Clark, given how often they're in the playoffs.
And, you know, the last time they won their division, it was when they were in the Central back in '94. Just another great moment for what was an incredible season for the Hawks last year.
Kyle Korver, he's checked in for Dennis Schroeder. Well, you look back at the 2015 Heat, and the injuries are what probably brought that team down. Didn't go from Chris Bosh with the debilitating blood clot on his lung and on and on and on. The loss, of course, which is not an injury, of LeBron James. There are a lot of moving parts with that team.
And that's a great point, Kevin. If you take any star off a team, things are going to get difficult. It was impressive that the Heat still managed to stay competitive once Bosh went out.
Here's Holiday after the made shot from Red Hot. Just 4 to shoot. Latrey, it's blocked, and he gets it back. And it's going to be a 24-second shot clock violation. They turn it over. And the Hawks will go for a different look here. Splitters checked in for Mike Muscala. Millsap comes in for Mike Scott. Kent Bazemore's checked in for Justin Holiday. And it's Teague in for Shelvin Mack. Shots good from Red Hot.
Already, they piled up 8 second chance points.
Feasting on those backboards. I love that physicality.
Back to Millsap. Outside Korver. From downtown. No good.
A really good rebound in traffic. That's what the big fella's there for.
And as the first quarter wraps up, already at double-digit. Here's Red Hot. He claims that one off the back iron, and down it falls. Red Hot's got 9.
They ran that inbounds play perfectly there to get the quick hitter.
Red Hot in its small forward. Staying out there with Josh McRoberts. Then there's Chalmers. And it's Ennis in at the 2. That's the group in the game for the Heat.
Well, that fast break went according to plan.
Yeah, nice job there, Greg. Recognizing the opportunity was there to push it, and then excellent execution.
Looking at Miami, they took their win in their last game against Houston.
You know, they played well enough to win, but to be honest with you, I just felt like their opponent's defensive performance was shaky at best.
Yeah, I'd go along with that, Greg. I mean, the game wasn't handed to them, but they definitely didn't have to work as hard for it as they should have.
Shot clock at 3. Here's Mack. And once again off the mark by Atlanta.
It's a +5 advantage for them in the rebounding category after that board.
Very steady with their work on the interior. Really a well-rounded effort overall. Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
Well, listless and lifeless at the defensive end. I mean, especially inside. They've really got to pick up that interior defense.
Here's what Atlanta's going with right now. Splitters checked in for Mike Muscala. Ken Bazemore comes in for Justin Holiday. And it's Korver in for Shelvin Mack.
And the big lead becomes bigger. They are playing with purpose here tonight, guys.
And they're doing it at both ends of the floor. I mean, that's what you like to see. They've been controlling the action from both ends of the court.
It's time now to look at the NBA's top shooting teams from a season ago. The 4th spot held by the Hawks.
You know, after that solid performance last year, there will be a lot of high expectations this year. And nothing stays exactly the same for a team from year to year. There are a lot of dynamics involved, particularly shooting percentage.
And the Hawks making a change here. Millsap's checked in. Here's Schroeder. They need this. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2.
And Dennis Schroeder has drawn some comparisons to Rajon Rondo. Long arms, very quick and athletic. He's awfully tough to keep in front of you, but he's also a guy that can knock down a mid-range jump shot.
There's Dennis Schroeder, in a lot of ways like a Greg Anthony, very quick, very smart on the floor, but he's a young player, and he says, Clark, that he watched a lot of tape of Tony Parker to see how he got to the basket.
Yeah, and that's a great blueprint, especially when you consider the Hawks run a very similar system to the Spurs.
Here's Wade. And almost 4 minutes gone here in the second quarter of play. Red hot. That falls. Nice feed that time from Dwayne Wade. Wade's got his 4th assist in this one. The Atlanta Hawks coming to this one after the win against the Hornets in Charlotte.
And you know what? Exactly what had to be done in terms of winning on the road. Never allowed any momentum to build up against them. Kept the crowd out of the game. And for every punch they took, they had a count.
I was very impressed, Greg, with the way they stood their ground, even when they were on their heels some, coming through those moments where they were backing up a bit. That's what it takes on the road. You got to show that kind of fortitude and resilience.
The Hawks trail by 17. Kicks to Korver. Splitter with a screen on Wade. Here's Bazemore. Chris Bosh with the rebound.
And he's been known to struggle with that shot. The confidence not there, and that's probably why he's wide open.
The shot's good from Red Hot.
Whereas almost all players go through their ups and downs, Steve, that's not the case with him. He just goes about his business the same way every night.
Here's Bazemore. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. Well, you have to love the energy and the effort given every night by Kent Bazemore, hustling for loose balls. Greg, a lot like he actually runs the floor like a tornado, can hit. And through one half, it hasn't even been close. Heat out front, opening up a huge gap. Stay with us, folks. We'll get back just after halftime to start the third quarter. Trail by 14. On the court for Atlanta. Teague and Korver in the backcourt. Kent Bazemore is out there with Paul Millsap. And it's Splitter in at the center, locking down the middle.
Not only is their lead big, but their advantage on the boards is huge, too.
They've been the aggressors, plain and simple, outworking them, fighting for every loose ball. And I like the job they've done with working the basketball. They've been moving and getting quality shots.
And, Greg, their field goal percentage reflects that. I mean, they've been the much better team shooting the ball. And you know me, shooting percentage, always a function of shot selection.
And here's Korver from the arc. Miami grabs the miss. Dragic has got 3 rebounds now in this one. At the conclusion of this game, they're off to Minnesota, where they'll take on the Timberwolves. And that'll be the first of a 2-game road trip for him.
He's a big reason why they have the lead right now. He's made all of his field goal attempts thus far and remains hot from the floor.
Teague, the pass to Millsap. Feeds it to Bazemore. Outside Teague. 6 to shoot. And out of bounds as the Heat gain possession.
And look here at the Heat. How they ranked in the NBA last season. 11th in field goal percentage, 13th in steal. And for blocks, interior defense, not a strong point for them. Just top 20 in the league.
And the Hawks making a change here. Mike Muscala is checked in for Splitter. Mike Scott comes in for Paul Millsap. Tim Hardaway Jr. is checked in for Kent Bazemore. And Justin Holiday subbed in for Kyle Korver.
Well, we know until last season the Heat had been the kings of the Southeast Division. They won 4 straight division titles, but all of that changed last season.
The Heat leading by 19. Pass to Red. And that comes off the assist by Mario Chalmers. 32 points for Red Hot.
He has really punished these defenders today. No matter who's been on him, he's been giving them medicine.
The Heat struggled in their own division last year, ended up third in the group, but went a measly 6-10 in conference play.
And listen, they knew it was going to be difficult without LeBron, and especially with the injuries they faced. The Heat still have the most division titles among the Southeast teams with 7. They need to work hard, though, to add to that mark in coming years.
Just 5 on the clock. Holiday with it. Now guarded by Ennis. There's the block. And they force the shot clock violation. Great D. And a moment to check out Miami and who they've got coming up. They've got the Timberwolves ahead of them next in Minneapolis. That'll be the first half of a 2-game trip. .133 left in the third quarter. Now, here's Chalmers. Passes to Red Hot from outside the arc. And again, Miami with the triple.
He's been one of their more reliable options today, guys. I mean, his shooting has led them to this lead.
Hawks have gone 7 of 11, a lucky field goal percentage here in the third. Hardaway dishes to Mack. And there's the pass to Muscala. Scott, and it's out of bounds. The Heat will take it the other way. And here's what's upcoming now for the Hawks. Their next game, playing at home, as the Nets come into town. About a minute and a half through the fourth quarter now. Korver with it. Now defended by Red Hot. Knocked loose. And Chalmers with a clear path to the hoop. Red Hot, he's in at small forward. Ennis out there with Chalmers. Then there's Whiteside, and it's Haslam in at the 4-man position. It's the group on the floor for Miami. And we're around 2 minutes into the fourth quarter here. The kick out to T. And out of bounds as the Heat gain possession.
Tough break. They've got to take care of the ball if they're going to make a comeback.
For the Hawks, Splitter is checked in for Millsap. Mike Scott comes in for Kyle Korver. And Dennis Schroeder subbed in for Jeff Teague. 2 open that time. Made it look too easy. Red Hot's got 38 points.
And you can just see his confidence is rising. Bucket after bucket from long range.
Splitter kicks to Hardaway. Left side, Scott. Shot to stop the run. And here they come. Here's Red Hot. Can't hit. Good D by Hardaway.
Those are chances. Almost always you can rely on him to get you 2 points, but the D, just enough to keep him out of rhythm.
Here's Mack. Kicks to Scott. Now Schroeder. Another steal. Here's Red Hot. Banked in off the glass. Red Hot's got 40 points. And a breakdown here, guys. The hustle stats for Miami.
Defensively, they played with a lot of energy, and the steals we've seen are a result of that aggressiveness.
Something that's also benefited them tonight are the turnovers they've forced and the points that have come along with those forced turnovers.
Schroeder kicks to Mack. He dishes it to Schroeder. They get a hand on it. And here's the break. Here's Red Hot. Oh, and there's the one-handed jam.
And all one-way traffic tonight, boy. They have been lights out offensively.
And there's no telling how big that lead's going to get. But, again, it's just one game, but nonetheless a very impressive one, the way they've handled their business here.
And, guys, Shelvin Mack, strong, good jump shot. More importantly, knows his role. Hasn't started that many games in his career, but maximizes his minutes when he's on the floor.
And the Hawks making a change here. Getting back to Shelvin Mack, he plays smart, values the basketball. Clark doesn't have tremendous vision, but stays composed and makes the solid play.
Yeah, very reliable rotational player for you as a combo guard. Pulls his way around the court. He can knock opponents off balance with that size, and he's a good shot maker, too.
From the baseline, the Hawks again can't hit. For Miami, they've gone 8 of 14 from the floor here in the fourth quarter. And the Heat, another three.
Yeah, might as well tack on a few more points to the lead, I guess. This is going to be a dominant win for them.
That's the right word for it, Greg. Dominant. This one was as one-sided as we've seen in a while.
And the Hawks making a change here. Holiday's checked in. Miami's gone 6 of 12 from outside. A very nice 50% mark, shooting the three ball well. The Hawks have gone 1 of 5 from the field here in the fourth. A lot of misses, just the one make. Poke loose. And the call will be against Red Hot. And that'll be his third foul so far. Winslow's checked in for James Ennis. And out of bounds as the Heat gain possession.
Just got a little careless on that pass. They should be able to connect on those.
Miami's gone 2 of 5 on three-point shots since the end of the third quarter. Took him no time at all on that one. 52 points for Red Hot.
And you can sense the fact that they didn't want to let the fans down here. It's been a fun night to be in the building.
Greg, it really has been. I mean, such a lively, vibrant atmosphere, and no doubt that played a part in the big win.
The Heat making a switch here. Nick Roberts has checked in.
And that fourth foul, guys, might force him to scale back the aggression from a defensive standpoint. He does not need, nor does the team need, number 5.
And Mike Scott, a former second-round draft pick who has carved out a role here in the NBA the last 2 seasons. Clark, he was a major contributor off the bench.
Yeah, he's a bit of a tweener, you know, not big enough to maintain position down low on a consistent basis and not quick enough to really be a three-man or small forward, but what he can do is get to the basket, rebound okay, and knock down the deep shot.
Schroeder passes to Holiday. Dishes to Schroeder. Back to Holiday. He kicks it to Hardaway. And the three off target. Miami's gotten 3 of their 6 three-pointers to fall here in the fourth. Here's Red Hot. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here. No good on the free throw. And he's good on the second. 17 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
Probably impossible for them to come back now.
Yeah, far too much work left to be done and not nearly enough time to get it done in.
Holiday dishes to Hardaway. Misses the three. And so Miami takes this one by a big margin. It was a tale of 2 teams tonight, one that was in total control, operating flawlessly, and Clark the other just searching for answers that they could never find.
Well, I think these fans, too, Kevin, gave their team a tremendous lift. And they never gave up on it. From the opening tip until the end of the game, they were in it. And that certainly helped this crew get to the W.
And that'll do it, folks. For Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. And as we leave, we give you our Jordan Player of the Game, Red Hot.
Go off when I enter the building.
Your teammates were raving about your overall level of play in tonight's win. Did you feel like your strong performance ultimately led the team to victory?
I felt like I played a pretty good game. It's nice to hear that kind of praise coming from my teammates because their opinions mean a lot more to me than what I typically get from the media. No offense, you guys. And I'd say my play tonight was certainly a contributing factor, but there's a lot more that goes into a win than just what I'm doing.
Welcome, everyone, to this 2K Sports broadcast live from downtown Minneapolis. Our starting lineups will look at the matchups here and who we'll see for our starting five for both teams. And guys, check it out, Ricky Rubio. What can we expect here?
And you've got to respect his willingness to give up his body. Step in, absorb the contact, and put his body on the line to draw charges. That's definitely one of his specialties.
Last game for the Timberwolves, it was a loss to Portland.
Yeah, they lost the momentum, and it's a bit surprising that one got away from them because for long stretches, they were the better team.
Well, if you only looked at the stat sheet, you'd have a hard time figuring out how they lost it. I mean, it was a case of a few small things, some of the intangibles that didn't go their way in the end.
And last season, really a tale of two halves for the Wolves. When Ricky Rubio returned from injury, they just looked so much more in sync as a team.
And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. A lot of comparisons have been made about Andrew Wiggins. Kobe Bryant, in fact, Clark went as far as to say that he sees a lot of himself in Wiggins as a player.
Ultimate compliment there. I mean, that's exactly what Kobe Bryant just gave him. Wiggins has the chance to reach that level, I think.
Red Hot gets his first NBA start.
I mean, it's really mind-boggling. This kid is wildly gifted.
Yeah, it's more than just his natural gifts that have gotten him this far. He's worked his behind off refining all that raw talent and becoming an extremely well-polished player he is today.
And here's Martin after the three-pointer from Red Hot.
Talking about Kobe, seeing Wiggins as a young version of himself. The skill set Wiggins has is eerily similar to that of a young Kobe. Just reliable, guys. He's just always trying to make the right play.
A moment to check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
Kevin, I briefly spoke with Flip Saunders. We talked about the strategy as it applies to D-Wade. He said Dwayne can score at will when he gets into a rhythm. So our job is going to be prevent him from on getting into that rhythm in the first place. Because if we can't do that, the points will just pile up. Most opponents are completely aware of that, guys.
And thanks for that story, Doris. Now, Rubio.
For me, the one thing that set Kobe apart and made him a champion really was his work ethic. If Wiggins can improve and work like Kobe did, then like Kobe, the sky could be the limit.
Look for Martin. That's in, coming off an assist from Rubio. Martin's got his first points in this one. Here's Red Hot, and good, counted. Before I forget, guys, what did you think about his comments in the press conference after their last game? And this is his first trip to the line tonight. The Miami Heat came up short last season in hopes of getting back to the playoffs. Clark, their road record didn't help them much.
Yeah, 17-24. I don't think you can be that far under 500 on the road and hope to play in the postseason.
And Rubio kicks to Wiggins. It's stolen by Dragic. The pass to Red Hot. Throws down the breakaway jam.
It's taken them no time to build this lead up. Great first quarter offensively.
But no time to relax here. They've got to keep the pressure on with the defense, and I think they've got to try to put this one away early.
Rob for the finish, and he caps off the fast break with a monster slam. And what's your take, guys, in the hustle stats for the Heat?
They've come out in attack mode on the defensive end. They've applied pressure and forcing turnovers.
Something else they've done right so far from the get-go tonight is run. I mean, so much of their offense has come off the fast break.
And the Timberwolves with possession here, following the score by Miami. Clock at 6. Wiggins passes to Martin. And again, unable to change momentum here. Looking at Miami, they took their win in their last game against the Atlanta Hawks.
Proficient in that game at the offensive end of the floor. I mean, their passing was dynamic and their shot selection was superb.
You do those two things hand in hand, Greg, you know the result. You move the ball like they did and take smart, good shots, you're coming away with a lot of wins.
You could not diagram a better way to open a quarter.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, look at the lead they've jumped out to already. What a start.
Now, here's Rubio. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change.
A look now at where the Timberwolves ranked in the NBA last year. 6th in free throw percentage, 9th in steal. As for the assist numbers, not as strong for them.
Talk so nicely, put her in the coupe so she can feel the nice breeze. We can drive through the city, no doubt, but don't say my car.
Chang against Stoudemire. And Rubio kicks to Martin. Back to Rubio. He feeds it to Wiggins. Another miss by Minnesota. Amari Stoudemire, with a change of scenery last season, was bought out by the Knicks, signed with the Mavs midway through the season.
That was the best thing to happen to Stoudemire, in my opinion, Kevin. He got to play playoff basketball again, and we know that wasn't going to happen in New York.
And for Miami, look at who they've got out there. Red Hot, he's in at small forward. Dragic is out there with Dwayne Wade. Then it's Stoudemire, and it's Bosh in at the 4. Wiggins, a screen on Wade. Martin attacking. He kicks it to Garnett. Shot clock at 6. Trying to get back on track. Miami grabs the miss.
And for Stoudemire last year, served as a backup big for the Mavs and was still as efficient as ever.
And it's good. And that's now 27 points for Red Hot.
You've got to give them a lot of credit for the job they've done on the backboard.
They've done a lot of things well today, but really it's about what they've done on the backboard that's at the top of that list.
Back to Rubio. It's stolen by Dragic. Oh, and a fast break for the Heat. Tries to save it. Dragic against Rubio. And the call will be Timberwolves trail by 17. We've got a 9-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock, and the call will be against Red Hot. So that will be his second foul of the game. We're in the bonus, and we'll go to the line to shoot 2. For Minnesota, they have shot 5 of 8 from the foul line.
Yeah, a year ago, though, Kevin. 78% conversion rate.
And we finished one half of basketball. Heat out front. They lead by 14. We'll see you back here after the break for third quarter basketball. Three minutes gone now in the third quarter. No coverage that time. Red Hot's got 30.
Boy, I tell you what, the Heat made great use of the corner three last season. A lot of teams are using that part of the floor very well. Almost a third of their attempts were from one of the corners. Second in the league in corner threes were the Heat.
In the backcourt, Rubio and Muhammad. Andrew Wiggins is out there with Anthony Bennett, and it's Pekovic in at the pivot, manning the middle. So that's the lineup for Minnesota. And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, over to you.
Thanks, Kevin. Red hot in the last game against the Hawks put on a show. He had 55 points and also did some work on the defensive end by swatting away a few shots. Numbers like that make you anxious to see what he can do next time out.
All right, Doris, thank you. He played at a level that very few players are capable of playing.
And, you know, I'll be interested to see how much he's got left in the tank. I mean, that performance had to take a lot out of him.
Yeah, but you know what? Sometimes supreme confidence can increase your stamina and endurance. So I'll be interested to see how that affects his play.
And a closer look here at the hustle stats for Miami.
The activity level defensively, I've really been impressed with. There's been an attack mode on the defensive end.
They haven't wasted time getting the ball up the court tonight either, and it's resulted in a lot of fast break points.
One characteristic, Greg, of the Miami Heat is they're a good team utilizing that corner three. It's one of the best shots you can take in the game. You know that, Greg.
Yeah, absolutely. It was my favorite, and it's the closest three-point attempt there is. And the Heat knew that and tailored their offense to make the most of it.
Pekovic dishes to Muhammad. And a little luck that time, but it drops. Muhammad's got 5.
And Steve, you know, his ability to come in and rattle off 10, 20 points in no time flat, that's a gift and a real asset for any team. Some guys need a while to get going, not him.
For Minnesota, they've gone a somewhat subpar 4-10 on their shots in the second half so far. No stopping him there. Jams it in as he's fouled. Chance now for a three-point play. That's on Anthony Bennett.
Now this is just getting ridiculous. They can't possibly keep this up.
Can't remember the last time they missed one. Remarkable shooting here.
And it was a very public falling out between Goran Dragic and the Suns front office. That was a real tense few weeks there before ultimately he was traded.
Martin with it. Wade picks him up. And the call will be against. And so here is Miami, and he gets it to go. Red Hot's got 42 in the game. And, of course, Dragic was traded to Miami last season, said he felt betrayed by the Suns front office, which spurred him wanting out of Phoenix and to South Florida.
Yeah, you know what? We'll never know the whole truth about that situation, but Dragic said they told him one thing with personnel and did something else.
On the floor for Miami, Red Hot in its small forward. Whiteside is out there with Josh McRoberts. Then it's Winslow, and it's Chalmers in at the point. Poked away. One-on-one fast break. dishes it to Haslam, and he dunks it down.
And guys, that's a big swing right there. I mean, taking the steal and then turning it into 2 easy points on the dunk.
No telling how important that sequence could turn out to be.
And guys, in a game this snug, moments like that are the ones we usually look back on at the end as a difference maker.
Got it. Nice one there from Levine.
I like the offensive awareness to exploit that lack of coverage on that play.
Winslow, Muhammad covering, and the shot is good.
They're forcing the ball inside, and it's working beautifully.
It really is. 5 out of 6 of their last field goals have come from the paint.
And the whistle blows on the backcourt violation. He went over and back. And a moment now to check out who Minnesota has coming up. They get to take on the Bulls at Chicago after this one. That'll be the first half of a 2-game trip. 2nd minute off the clock now in the 4th. Winslow, the pass to Chalmers. Red hot. And that comes off the assist by Mario Chalmers. Red Hot's got 45 points.
And Commissioner Silver taking a bold stance on sports betting. I mean, going into last season, he wrote that op-ed piece saying that it needs to be legalized federally. It basically brought into the light of day.
First team foul.
Heat on D. And Muhammad kicks to Bielitsa.
That's really a good picture of what not to do on those last 2 possessions. I mean, they're being way too casual with the ball.
It's going to cost them if they keep it up. They need to get back to playing smart basketball.
For Minnesota, they've gone an outstanding 4 of 5 from the field in the 4th quarter so far. Levine kicks to Bennett. He passes to Muhammad. And they get it. Rebound by Mario Chalmers. Chalmers has got his 3rd rebound on the night.
Just a solid performance on the interior. The rebounding has been off the charts.
Yeah, you look across the board, it's actually sizing up, shaping up to be a great game. I mean, strong performances throughout, and they've really been strong on the glass.
And a moment to check out Miami and who they've got coming up. Up next for them is the Pacers in Indianapolis. That will conclude their brief 2-game road trip. Miami's gone 2 for 2 from three-point land to start the 4th quarter. Here's Red Hot. And the Heat, another 3.
I don't think they can ask much more of him than what he's done this quarter.
The Timberwolves shooting at a decent 44% clip here. Here's Levine, defended by Chalmers. Levine dishes to Bennett. Passes it to Bielitsa. Tried to come right back with the 3 of his own, but it's no good. Here's Red Hot. A stupendous finish in traffic. Red Hot's got 54 points.
This switch has definitely been flipped to on this quarter, guys.
Here's Levine, defended by Chalmers.
Well, it seems like this is something we've said quite a bit the last few years, but now we really feel like we're in a golden age for point guards. So many point guards on so many teams are the leaders and best players on their team. You can name a dozen all-star level point guards in the league right now.
Miami's gotten off to a great start from three-point range in the final quarter. They're a perfect 3 of 3. Puts up the baby hook, and the Heat get another bucket right there.
An even stronger second half. Tremendous efficiency at the offensive end of the floor.
Yeah, they're in a nice zone right now, and that basket looks, you know, it can handle 2 balls at once. It looks like now it can probably, for them, handle 3 or 4 balls at once as well as they're shooting.
The Timberwolves making a switch here. Miller's checked in. To illustrate just how strong the point guard position is right now, Greg, in the NBA, Just take a look at the point guards who did not make the All-Star team a season ago. Wow.
You know, in both conferences, it's almost as if we're in the midst of a point guard renaissance for the NBA. I mean, MVP Steph Curry, Russell Westbrook, CP3 out west, John Wall, Kyrie Irving in the East. Boy, I could go on and on with the great players at that position.
Well, I tell you guys, when you look at this Wolves team, I mean, the outlook is really bright. A lot of young talent that's fitting together nicely. Good skill set. I think this group could be one to watch and really good going forward.
Oh, good from Red Hot. Minnesota's gone 1 of 2 from three-point range here in the fourth. There's a good screen. Out of bounds, Timberwolves ball as Minnesota keeps possession. So for the Timberwolves last year, Greg kind of traded into the top overall pick, getting the Wiggins deal, which means 2 consecutive years of having number 1. They're beginning to put together the ingredients.
I think they have a core to ultimately be formidable when you talk about that Western Conference. And to pick up Zach LaVine in that same draft, that was a nice selection as well. And don't discount what Flip Saunders brings to the table in terms of coaching and teaching these young players.
Oh, good on the 3.
I'm shocked that didn't turn into 3 points. I mean, he makes you pay on those nearly every time.
Here's Miller, and he overshot that one, missing.
And if the shot's not there, you've got to understand that. Move the basketball.
Yeah, exactly, and I'm not quite sure what his mindset or what he was thinking there. I mean, that was just a terrible shot.
That one goes. Count it. Red Hot's got 60.
Well, guys, they came in here and really took charge from the opening tip. This is such a tough thing to do for a visiting team. This contest was played on their turn.
And, you know, that's not the way it usually works in the NBA. It's going to be a great win, and you know it's going to be a happy plane ride out of here for sure.
Another shot, and out of bounds as the Heat gain possession. And so Miami takes this one by a big margin. To come into an opponent's building and dominate the way they did tonight says, I think, Greg, an awful lot about this team.
I guess they don't need home cooking to feel at home. I mean, Kevin, just a masterful performance all the way around.
And that'll wrap it up, folks. This is Kevin Harlan thanking you for watching. And we leave you with the Jordan Player of the Game, Red Hot.
For anyone telling you off for all you need.
Welcome to an NBA Starting 5. You have to be excited about the chance to prove yourself as a starter. Any thoughts you'd like to share?
Yeah, man, it's a real honor. I've been working hard for so many years to get a chance to make my mark in the NBA. I mean, getting drafted, going through training camp, playing in my first game. It's all gone by so quickly, and now I'm getting a chance to start for this team. I'm really excited for the opportunity. Can't wait for the next game.